Welcome to the tutorial about getting to know your IYS report. The purpose of this tutorial is to familiarize you with the structure and content of the report, highlight what's new in 2018, and to provide clarification and key points to keep in mind as you review your data. The 2018 IYS report consists of 3 sections: an introduction, which includes a table of contents and the most critical information you should know before looking at your results; a tables section, which includes your students' responses to each survey question by grade level, otherwise known as frequency percentages; and a chart section, which includes highlighted or summarized information presented in bar charts. Notice that the structure and content of reports is exactly the same, whether they are school reports, district reports, county, or community reports. The only difference is in the pool of student surveys that are included. There were a few changes to the 2018 Illinois Youth Survey. In 2018, the Spanish version of the survey is available online only. New questions were added to the survey regarding methods of marijuana use, risk of harm for electronic cigarettes and vaping products, past year use of any tobacco and vaping products, an additional question on use of prescription pain medication without a prescription or used not as prescribed, and a question on food insecurity. Online was added as a response option for source of obtaining tobacco or vaping products. Additional gender response options to be more inclusive were added to the survey and include transgender and do not identify as male, female, or transgender. In 2018, some questions and content were removed because they were low priority or their results were not useful to inform practice. The questions that no longer appear in the survey are about age of first use of steroids, past 30-day use of inhalants, and physical fights on school property. There are several essential pieces of information you will find in the introduction. These include information about your survey sample, definition of key terms, brief description of tables and charts, and a table of contents. Let's look at the table in the introduction that provides information about your survey sample. This table provides an assessment of student participation in the survey and is critical to determine how confident you can be in your results. As in other tables in the report, a capital N refers to the number of respondents and a % sign refers to the proportion of respondents. The higher the % of enrolled students reported, the more confident you can be that the survey results are representative of the student population. If your sample is less than 50% of the student enrollment, you will want to investigate a little further. Perhaps the enrollment figures originally supplied by the school need to be updated. If this is the case, you will want to recalculate the % using the correct figures. You can also check the demographic profile of students who took the survey, which can be found in the first tables of your report. If the demographics of your surveyed students are very similar to your total student body, you can feel more confident in the data. It is also important to determine if there was a unique situation that caused fewer students to take the survey than expected. For example, if a specific group of students, such as honors course students or student athletes, were not included in the IYS, your results could be impacted. Now that you are ready to start reviewing your results, be aware that if you expect to see data presented for a specific survey question and can't find it in our report, there are several potential reasons. 1. Not enough valid surveys for a grade level. Valid surveys are those that have passed screening measures to increase data quality. To protect confidentiality of students, no data for the grade level is in the report whenever there are less than 10 valid surveys. Next, the question was not asked at that specific grade level, and so the grade level does not appear in the table, or you may see N/A, meaning not applicable, noted in the table. Finally, too many students skipped over the question. In this case, you will see N/R, meaning not reported, noted in the table. Let's review the section containing data tables. In order to locate specific information in tables, you would look to the table of contents, which includes a section for tables organized by topic with a page number where each topic starts. If you still aren't clear what topic is relevant to the data you are searching for, you may want to refer to the Site Report Appendix. The appendix is a separate document that can be found on the IYS website on the Survey Results tab and contains all of the questions in every version of the 2018 Illinois Youth Survey. You can use the appendix to determine which questions were asked at each grade level, as well as the specific response options associated with each question. The appendix also shows in which section of the report each question can be found. The appendix is available in PDF or in Excel format. Tables usually display the percent of students who selected each of the possible responses to a question. To clarify how to read the tables, we note when columns or rows add up to 100%. Due to rounding, 0% sometimes means that no one responded or that fewer than half of 1% responded. The zip code table is one example of this. Any zip code with at least one person reporting at any surveyed grade level will appear on the zip code table. This is a summary table of consumption patterns by substance per grade level. This table is special in the sense that use for alcohol, binge drinking, cigarettes, marijuana, and prescription drugs not prescribed to you has been cleaned to remove inconsistencies in reporting. This means that it excludes data from participants reporting past 30-day use but not past year use. For this reason, the values in this table might be slightly different from the values reported in substance-specific frequency tables presented later in the report. As we mentioned earlier, N refers to the number of respondents reported in the table. Be cautious when you see a small number of respondents. This means that the responses are based on a subset of the sample and may not be generalizable. There are 3 reasons why N is reported in a table: when a question is likely to be skipped, when the response options are all that apply, or when the results are reported on a subgroup of the population. For example, in the table shown here, the responses for tobacco access for 12th grade students include only tobacco users, which may be a small portion of the larger student body. You can find your Summary Charts page by checking the table of contents. The Summary Charts page lists all of the charts separated by topic. The specific features of that chart are listed under each chart title. In the example shown here, you can see that this chart contains 8th, 10th, and 12th grade data and will display all grades on one chart. You will also see your students in 2018 compared to state data from 2016. Most charts display percent of respondents as you see in this example. The vertical axis includes a range from 0 to 100%. Charts do not contain N or number of respondents. You can often determine the number of students represented by referring to the corresponding data table in the table section of your report. For the following charts, reported among users, displaying mental health issues, or BMI, you should refer to the corresponding tables to find out the number of respondents for these questions, because the percentages may be based on a small subset of students. Some charts may include notes that refer you to other sections or explain something specific about the chart. For instance, charts reported among users include a footnote indicating that the chart will not display results when n is less than 10. To provide consistency throughout charts, the clear bar always represents the state comparison. A few charts display mean scores, like the example shown here regarding school climate. Each of the school climate scales, such as caring adults, is comprised of several questions. The responses to these questions are calculated, resulting in a mean or an average score for each scale. In this case, the scores range from 1, least positive perception of school climate, to 4, most positive perception of school climate. To determine which questions are included in each school climate scale and how students responded to each individual question, refer to the school climate tables in the Academic and School Experiences section of this report. You will usually be able to find chart data in the associated tables found earlier in the report. The chart displayed here is the exception. For the chart entitled Students' Perception of School Climate Mean Scores, responses to the individual survey items can be found in the data tables, but the mean scores are displayed only in charts. We hope that your IYS report will be a valuable resource for your school and community. The more familiar you are with your report, the more useful it will be. Remember to refer to the Introduction and Summary Charts page, as they include a great deal of clarifying information. Make sure to check out the IYS website for the site report appendix to see the full listing of questions on each survey form and in which section their data tables can be found. Finally, check out other opportunities on the IYS website for learning more about your data. For additional questions about your report, please contact an IYS coordinator at CPRD and we will be happy to help you. We hope you have found this tutorial helpful. Thank you.